Welcome to my next From Season 3 episode review videos. I just watched the new episode on the MGM Plus app. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you're not caught up to the point where I am in rewatching you're watching from, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And if you're new here, please like and subscribe, and then let me know what you think of the show From and any questions that you have in the comment section. I got into From because I heard it was by some people that were involved with Lost. Lost is one of my favorite shows of all time, and From is pretty solid. Is it amazing? No, but I think it's solid. I am a little worried that once the show ends, that the ending will be lackluster, like a bad M. Night Shyamalan ending. Although the show has actually gotten much better from Season 3's beginning. I think Season 3 has been pretty solid so far. So I do have hope for From. And I have reviewed every single episode thus far of From. If you want to check that out, I'll put that at the end of the video, about 20 seconds left. It'll be right here. That'll be my From Seasons playlist. So check it out if there's any episodes that you want to hear me talk about. But pretty solid show thus far, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. But with all that said, this will be from Season 3, Episode 6. The title of this episode is called Scar Tissue. And this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. Jim's trying to sleep, but Tabitha is just standing by the window looking out the window. Jim tells her to come back to bed, and Tabitha says when she was out there, she should have done more. Tabitha tells Jim she wants him to be honest, because he's like, it's okay, you did what you could. And then Tabitha tells Jim to stop being a fucking coward. Jim mentions that she wanted to run after Thomas's death. And then they kind of argue and they fight. And then they hear one of the monsters shriek outside as it's nighttime. In the morning, Tabitha tells Julie that Jim will be at the lake today gathering food. Julie heard the screaming from last night, and they're fighting. Not just the screaming from outside, but they're fighting. And she's pretty sure that Colony House heard their fight from last night as well. Jade tells Boyd about the numbers being some kind of code, trying to make sense of how she got from the lighthouse to Camden, Maine. Boyd tells Jade about the other tree he and Sarah found in Season 1, and the number he found in one of the bottles, 1864. And Jade also has a slip of paper with 1864 on it from the tree him and Tabitha went to. Victor tells Henry that there's something he has to do today, and it's very important. Henry wants to tag along, and Victor says he doesn't think that's a good idea. He says what he's going to do is dangerous, and he doesn't want to get him hurt. Kenny brings the last of the supplies from the ambulance to Marielle. She tells Kenny he should go home and get some rest. Boyd asks Kenny if he's okay, and Kenny says he's okay and doesn't want to talk about it right now. Boyd goes to check in on Randall, and he's like dreaming and like in pain or having a bad nightmare or something like that. And then Christy sees him and tells Boyd that the ambulance came fully stocked with a portable ultrasound on board. And then he leaves, and he tells Christy not to tell Randall that he was there. Fatima thinks Ellis is afraid of her. Boyd shows up and tells them he has some good news. And then Boyd wonders what's going on. And then Ellis tells him to come in. Tabitha visits Donna. She's heard what happened. Donna says he was a pain in her ass most of the time, but he had some good moments, referring to Dale, of course, who unfortunately met his demise in the last episode. Tabitha says she thinks she let people down, and Donna says, we didn't need answers from you. We just needed you back. And then Donna says you're lucky to still be here, and don't take that for granted. Victor and Henry have arrived at the cave, and Henry says he's not going back. If we're going to go do this, we're going to do this together. And then Victor agrees, okay, but be quiet. Boyd tells Ellis and Fatima about the ultrasound machine that was on the ambulance. Fatima cries to Ellis after Boyd steps out. Marielle changes Randall's bandages. She tells him that there's no sign of infection. He tells her that he wants to see, gives him a mirror, and gives him a minute. Kenny catches Julie smoking pot. He won't tell her parents. Kenny's looking for a screwdriver that was in one of the drawers. Henry asks Victor how much further, and Victor says shh. Victor is looking for Jasper, but Jasper isn't where he last was. Elgin is taking pictures of people for a Colony House photo album or collage. Fatima tells Boyd and Elgin that she doesn't want to say anything to Christy until she has to about what's going on with her. Jade finds the other bottle tree and sees a hallucination of bartender Tom. He's wiping a glass as a man does what a man does, Tom says to Jade. And Jade says to dead Tom, or hallucination Tom, or ghost Tom, what does that mean? And Jade tells dead Tom about the visions of the bottle tree that Miranda saw. Tom tells Jade that the Jade that had the multi-million-dollar company had thicker skin. Then we have Ethan reading a book of Tian-Chen's. Tabitha finds that out. He tells Tabitha he wishes it was like when they first got to Fromville. Tabitha hears a noise coming from upstairs, and then when Tabitha goes upstairs, she sees like the children from the previous hallucinations saying Anakuni or Ankuni again, and then Ethan comes upstairs and everything is okay, so it's just her hearing the noise and seeing those children. They're trying to say something to her, but she's not sure what that means. Donna has finished stacking up rocks in front of where Dale is at, or where his final resting place is going to be. She tells Kenny Dale would have hated that, and Kenny wonders if Donna has room for him at Colony House. Tabitha and Ethan go to see Jade at the bar. They want to help with the puzzle. He tells them about the second bottle tree. Jade says somewhere in these numbers is a key. Marielle tells Randall to just make sure he changes his bandages. He tells her that, why is she pretending like she's okay? Randall says out on the bus he doesn't get to pretend. He says it's fucking terrifying. Marielle tells Randall no one here has to be alone. Go get your stuff. We have room, and I'll talk to Christy. So she wants Randall to move in to where they are. Henry is worried about Victor and him getting lost in the caves. They finally find the Jasper doll. Victor and Henry see a couple of monsters. One is in like full monster form, and one is like the woman. And the woman tells Victor, if you keep coming down here, we'll make you stay. And then Victor and Henry turn around and run out, as Victor had left a trail with his little army men to follow. Julie catches up with Randall and tells him that she gets stoned all the time. Yeah, that's great character development for Julie. Victor takes Henry to his truck. He says it's okay now. We have Jasper and we can save people. And Henry's like, it's just a doll. It's just a toy. And during the ultrasound for Fatima, Christy doesn't see anything and tells Fatima she's not pregnant. And Fatima says there's something inside of me and she needs her to find it. And then we have Elgin looking at the pictures he took. And when he looks at the picture of Fatima that he took, he sees like an image next to her. And then he sees a hallucination next to him of that ghost woman that he sees all the time in his dreams. And the ghost woman says, I can save you. I can save all of you. I can help you go back home. And then Carla comes by and like, you okay? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And then he looks at the picture again. He doesn't see anything next to Fatima. Jade tells Tabitha that those kids aren't going to hurt you. They want your help. The ones that are saying Anakuni. And then Tabitha tells Jade about a nightmare she would have over and over again when she was little. She screams at something by the 3 red stones as she sees a picture that that Jade had drawn. And she says it wasn't just Miranda. I saw this place too, but I didn't know it. And that's what ends this episode of From. So this was pretty good. No big crazy moments happened, but it was very interesting and it developed the story a little bit. I'm going to score the episode a 7.7 out of 10. And then for my characters of the episode, I have to give 1 to Tabitha and 1 to Jade, although Victor you could consider as well. So those 3 characters I think were the main focal point. We got less of Jim, which is really good because I'm not a big fan of Jim thus far, but you know, he could grow on me. But I mean, we're 3 seasons in, or 2.5 seasons into this show, so you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of From and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you Hulk smash the like button. Share the video with anybody that you know that likes the show From, or you think might be interested in it. Obviously, you'd want to share like a trailer for the show to them. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on the show From. Thoughts on this episode? What would you score this episode in? Who would you choose as your characters of the episode? I try to do at least one male and one female, but sometimes there's 3 or 4 people that are a main focal point. And then remember, I'll put my From playlist right here. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.